You're listening to Gig Talk on KMI Studios. Now here's your host, Tim Kostas.
Check.
Hey, check 1, 2.
Oh, you sound so good. You sound so good, I think I'll leave that on there.
Hey,
everybody,
yeah.
We're here on Gig Talk, episode 6, and we are very delighted to have the absolutely wonderful Talon Stamper here with us today.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here. Delighted to be here, too.
Oh, my applause button
Hanging
didn't
out
work.
in KMI Studios.
I know. It's good to have you here. How have you been, my friend?
I've been doing really good,
That's
actually.
good. Yep.
You know,
Talon is the lead singer of the band Uncanny, a fantastic 90s cover band that you need to see soon. We'll talk a little bit later on about where your gigs are and things like that. But I thought maybe we could start off with a little of your musical history. Talk about how you got into playing music, where you started, and things like that.
Oh, okay. You want the whole story?
As much of it as you want. Yes. Yep.
Well, myself personally, I started playing in church.
Wow.
My grandfather was a pastor and of our own evangelical church.
Wow, that's great.
And yeah, I started off playing
That's great
piano.
around here, especially. People will be very happy with
Hey,
that. Yeah.
you know, that's where I think a lot of people start off playing music is at church, especially down here. So yeah, I started playing piano when I was about 6 or 7. My parents got me a little keyboard at home. I would play, anything that I could hear, the theme song to, Axel F or the theme song.
Wow, that's a cool place to start.
Stuff like that. Oh, yeah, just, anything I could like single key out. I didn't know much about chords or anything, but then I started learning more at
Did you
church.
take any lessons or anything like that?
No.
No.
I kind of did. So the lady at church taught me chords and showed me how to read the chord chart for the hymns and stuff to play in church.
Yeah.
So,
at least you had that part. Like, okay, we know we can do this much right here.
right. Yeah, it was basic, pretty basic. I mean, I played piano and I don't think I ever got proficient on it, but I was good enough. And I did take enough lessons to learn how to read music at the time. I can read music, but I don't really spend a lot of time doing that nowadays.
No,
with all the different tools you have to learn songs.
Yeah, I mean, when I started off a long time ago, my grandmother bought me an acoustic guitar and 5 guitar lessons.
Oh, okay.
And I was 10. I was 10 at the time, and I was so excited because for a few years before that, I'd take a tennis racket and pretend along with records I really wanted to play. And she got me the guitar and the guitar lessons. I took the 5 guitar lessons and I hated it. I hated the lessons. I hated the trying to learn because there was no way you were getting out of you're going to learn how to read music. I'm like, well, can I just play a song and whatever? No. You must learn On Top of Old Smoky. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so uncool. So I ended up putting it down, and there's a whole other story to the rest of that. But
that's great.
I don't want to interrupt you on that thing. But so you started off in church, and
then church. I was at church one day when I was about 12, and saw a guy playing a 12-string Ovation acoustic guitar in church, and it sounded so pretty. He was playing it really well, and I was like, wow, And right then, about that age, we're talking. I'm 47, so I was in 8th grade, 7th grade when that was coming out, and Nirvana was just coming out.
Sure.
All those Seattle grunge bands were just kind of hitting the scene, and I was like into it. I loved it, and so that's what I took. And funny enough, I did take a guitar class in 8th grade. Yep. I couldn't play a lick back then. I mean, I was terrible. I could play like "Smoke on the Water" intro. That's it.
That's everybody's intro to like, hey, look what I can play. Yeah.
So then my dad got me. He's heard me saying I wanted to play guitar, so they got me a guitar that Christmas. They got me a 12-string Ovation acoustic.
Oh wow,
that's what I learned.
That's an interesting place to start.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, 12-string. I mean, at least you'll be beefing up your fingers a little bit more than most kids on.
That's what my dad said.
Nylon string classical or something like that.
That's what my dad said. And he's not a musician, but he loved music, and they encouraged it, to me and my brother too, because my brother's a drummer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys have the dreams of we're going to start a band right away as soon as you got that guitar? Like, we're going to do this together.
No, not so much. I think when we first started playing together, we played together, and it was begrudgingly. Because, we get along, but we don't get along all that great, especially when we're 2 years apart. So we're close to Irish twins,
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
And so, like, we had very different tastes in music. At the time.
Yeah, what was he into?
He was into hip hop and rap, which I did like, but he liked it more as a drummer. He liked the beats, and I was more into guitar rock. 90s stuff was coming out. I still loved hip hop, and I listened to all that, but I was really into, because of playing guitar. I wanted to learn how to play like those guys I was listening to, and the people I grew up listening to, like Led Zeppelin and Hendrix and people like that.
Which are guitar oriented. I mean, if you had grown up, if you had been born just 10 years earlier, it's all like synthesizers and things like that, and there's a guitar in there, but what were the guitars doing? Nirvana was like a great place for you to be, like right there when you were starting, wanting to get into music, because those are riffs, and that's the guitar is the main part of that whole thing.
Yeah, and there was guitar driven rock in the 80s, and I loved that stuff, and I loved Guns N' Roses and Poison and Motley Crue and all that, and Van Halen. But to me, when it came out, it was such a big thing that happened to young people at the time that, like, that stuff was passé. The old hairband stuff was over, and it was now like, okay, you can bang out some power chords and thrash a little bit, and people would appreciate it.
A lot of it comes down to the world became so overproduced music-wise. I mean, everything was about the production, and you can't even tell what anything is. When you think of Nirvana, it's like, that sounds like three guys in a room that could be at your freaking buddy's garage party or whatever. It didn't sound any more produced than that.
Nope. I mean, it was like a garage band. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah, and it was so natural and things like that.
And that makes kids want to play, because it gives them something that they can attain. Sure. Especially kids like me who just were, because I didn't have a musical background from my parents or anything like that, even just going to church and learning, but I wanted to play. And, when you try to compare, you're first starting off and you're trying to compare yourself to Zeppelin or even Motley Crue or any of those guys that can just really shred, you're just like, well, I'm never going to get to that level. But when you listen to Kurt play, you're like, I could do that.
I think I could do that.
You
could pick it up and you could noodle around and be like, oh, I can find some of these things.
Yeah, and put your heart into it. And I think that's really what separated it from a lot of the stuff in the 80s, is that they were really kind of not scared to go really dark, depressed. Yeah. Delve into those parts of the human psyche that weren't really being addressed with a lot of the stuff in the 80s. I'm not saying there wasn't stuff, because I love The Cure. So much, It was a different vibe.
Well, you listen to The Cure and it can be depressing but still sound fun.
Right. That's the beauty of it.
That's a thing. It's like, oh, is that song's about something sad? Oh, yeah. I'm not even sure. You know what I mean?
That's what so funny. My wife the other day was like, I figured out that I just love music that is depressing in nature but upbeat sounding.
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
And I said, I guess that's probably a lot of people.
Yep. There's probably a lot of bands in the 80s that aren't as popular that people would know. I mean, look at the Smiths and things like that. Right. I mean, those are all sad songs, but they're from some freaking catchy tunes
Morrissey.
And things. Yeah. You got to love that stuff.
Great stuff. I mean, I think in the 80s, I was pretty young, so I was just kind of listening to what was ever on the radio.
Sure.
And what was on the radio was more the hair band stuff, I think. Yeah. You didn't hear as much of the new wave.
Depends on where you were,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I was in the D.C. area.
Yep.
I don't know if that made any difference.
I mean, even where you were, like, when I went to college in 1981, so I was listening to, like, Kansas and Boston and Styx and things like that. And I went to college, and people were like, what are you listening to that crap for? Like the corporate rock shit.
Oh.
And then, like, you need to learn, you need to know Joe Jackson and The Cure and the freaking Clash and things like that. Sure. They called it college rock then, that it was this whole different thing, that it was
college rock.
Like, sure. Yeah. And that was before
REM, maybe.
REM, this exact. Well, REM's like the ultimate. They started
rock.
like on a college campus,
Right.
but there weren't alternative stations back then. So if you wanted to listen to things like REM and The Cure and things, it was only on college radio stations.
That's true.
There wasn't like in Boston. There was I'll never remember there was BCN was the regular rock station, but there was something else. And AAF was the like metal station. And I should know this because I actually worked some of their shows and stuff. There was an alternative station, but that was a new thing because they were playing college rock on that and things that were like underground to the regular music scene and things like that. And lo and behold, it became the biggest radio station in Boston after a while because that's where people wanted to go. You know, people like kind of migrated away from the more corporate-y type things and things like that. Yeah,
we saw that in the DC area with, it wasn't a college rock station, but 99.1 WHFS. They played all the alternative stuff.
Yep.
Whereas, well into what was clearly happening in the world of music at the time, MTV and everything, DC 101 was still playing Skid Row.
Wow.
And, HF festivals, or HFS, I say HF festival because they used to throw an annual festival every year at RFK Stadium, which was awesome. It was like our own little mini Lollapalooza.
Wow, yeah.
Because they'd have everybody, Smashing Pumpkins, Jane's Addiction, all these great bands from the 90s. And, well, I say Jane's Addiction is really 80s, but they were pioneers.
Exactly. Yeah, they were ahead of their time and things like that.
I think so. I mean, they definitely brought a different sound than any other band was doing. When they did Been Caught Stealing, like, that was like one of my favorite songs of like 1989.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I was like, I don't know who they are. It was like Jane's Addiction, man. I was like 11.
But it's cool that you grew up at an interesting time where it was really, you grew up on the transition of those things and things like that, and
right in the middle of it,
influences you and things. I know that you're a guy that likes to go into like nature and things like that, like go to Vermont and things, just on the same kind of path. I used to go to, it was Long Lake up in Maine. It was like halfway up. It was in Lake Portland, and it was somewhere. And he had a log cabin up there, and we go up there, and there was only one radio station that came through, and it was this thing called The Mountain.
Okay.
And we go up there for like boy trips, hang out fishing and doing stuff like that. And The Mountain was one of the most unique radio stations because they would not play the stuff that they were supposed to play from, usually it's like handed down from the big company thing, and they play whole album sides of like weird different older records and stuff, and you heard all these different songs, and it's like, I don't know, I guess the program director let them do those kind of things because most of these places,
radio,
it's so dictated, but it was like the only radio station, but it's like, holy shit, they're playing, I don't know, pick a whole side of Yes or something like that. It's like, nobody puts those songs on the radio.
Yeah, like a whole album, we're going to play all of Zeppelin 4 or one whole side of Zeppelin 4.
Exactly.
I guess it made it easier, especially in the days of records. Just put it on and let it sit.
Yeah. But it was, but you were like, gosh, you listen to the radio now and like the rotation is so small. It's like you could, on one drive to work, you might, literally, dude, I've heard the same song twice on a less than 1 hour commute somewhere. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like nobody's even trying anymore. Yeah. And they were so cool there in that station because they played things that I don't know. I mean, I heard albums that I had never even heard of before and things. That's not awesome. Radio stuff, Right. It was cool.
When you get introduced into that kind of by a radio station, because we're old school, that's what we grew up. That's where we got our music.
Sure.
I used to wait to tape the song off the radio.
Oh my gosh, all the time. You know how many tapes I used to have? God love them. Like I'd be recording with the cassette recorder next to the radio. Yeah. And my dad would come in. Hey, what are you doing? Shh, I'm recording. What? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, right.
It's like, my
or
dad's
the DJ's talking over the song. You're like, shut up.
Yeah, you try. Exactly. Let me get at least some of this intro on here.
That's how you pirate
and
music.
Here they are, Steely Dan and whatever. It's like, no, shut up, you dummy. It's like before it cuts off.
Yeah.
So you're. When did you really start playing like in bands and things like that?
So yeah, the older I got, I started playing guitar like right around 13, and then was playing all the stuff that I could get my hands on. My dad got me Led Zeppelin Complete, which had all the tab and the notes in it.
Yeah.
I learned like so, cliched like Stairway to Heaven, like the first song I ever learned. So
I remember hearing that at one point when I really wanted to start playing music. I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
Yeah, that's cool.
My wife tells me I talk too much on here.
Oh, but, no. It's your podcast, sir.
Yeah, well,
just kidding.
They want to hear you, not me. But I remember hearing that and saying, so I just started learning how to play. And I said to myself, I don't think that that's humanly possible. Like, I thought, I'm like, how does somebody really play those things? But then I remember over like a few years go by and I started pulling that whole song apart. I'm like, oh, this is just this. And it's one of those epiphany moments of, oh my gosh, I know how to do this thing now. And it was probably like,
it's a great
like a D sus, D, you know what I mean? When you like hammer on, whatever. It was like something, I'm like, how do you play those three chords so close to each other? It's like, well, he's only moving one finger, but I didn't know that. And it was such a cool moment of like, oh my gosh, I chipped away at pieces of things and figured it out. But I was super dedicated to it. It's like, I wanted to do it more than anything in the world. So it was, just try to get into it and things.
I think we're all like that. If you're a musician, you really get hooked on it.
Yeah.
You're going to put the time into it because it's like your lessons, like you said, when you have to take guitar lessons and play hot cross buns or whatever.
Yeah.
When you're doing something you really love, it doesn't feel like you're putting work in.
No.
So, and then you really want to do it. And so, at a young age, I was just like that. I would spend, I guess you could probably call me a nerd. I spent hours inside. Probably more and more kids were playing outside. But I was playing guitar and learning that. And probably around the age of 16 or 15. Well, 15, started a band with a couple friends.
Yeah.
And we would play parties, our
That's
friends'
awesome,
parties.
Man.
And then that turned into like more parties. And then we hooked up with another band that was playing at the bars.
Yeah.
And so we play at the bars. And we played a mix of original.
When you were like 16 years old?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
16 to 17 till I was about 21. We were basically in the band together.
Yeah.
Until I moved. Because one of my other band members moved.
You're only the second person I've ever met that as a teenager played in bars and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Though I'm sure there's plenty, and I probably actually know some. We just never talked about it. But it's like, I never played in front of anybody. The first band I ever played in, I was 30 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I had played since I was 10, but kind of noodled around. I did some things like at the high school thing, like talent show or something shit like that or whatever.
That's something I didn't do, actually. I never did the high school talent show.
Yeah.
Or was in the band in high school. Was not in that either.
Gosh, I really wish I was in a band in high school.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing you'd like dream of. It's like, hey girls, come on. Yeah.
We sucked. We were terrible. We were not very good. We played Nirvana and Green Day covers, and that was about it. We knew some.
That's cool.
We knew a few songs. Yeah.
Did you? So you had bass player, drum, and stuff like that. So you were playing guitar, and were you singing then too?
My best friend that's coming to visit on Thursday. He's coming from Maryland to come to Charlotte for the first time since I turned 30, and I'm 47. Yeah. So fuck you, Nick.
It's been a bit. Yeah.
But
a long time coming.
He plays bass. We've been playing together since we were, he was 14, I was 15, and so I had a bass player, and then my brother played drums.
Oh, so you did. Right. Oh, so you did do it with your brother.
Sure. Yeah, we play with him, and then when he wanted to stop, we brought in a friend of ours. We had friends that play drums, and then we had this one friend, Tassos. Okay, that's his name. But he's Greek.
Yes, he is with a name like Tassos. Yeah. He is. Yes.
But he was a prodigy. He was literally playing drums professionally at the age of 8 or 9.
Oh my gosh!
And was playing with his uncles who had a touring Greek music band that would tour up and down the East Coast doing Greek festivals in the summertime when he was off of school. So he already had, we were like coveting him, and then we finally got him as our drummer. And it was great. We did some recording. We were starting to like come together as a band. I had another friend that just came out of nowhere. Never thought this kid, he was on my wrestling team, good friend of mine. Yeah. Never thought he was musical at all, but all of a sudden, when he was like 18, 19, he was like singing along with us at parties, and we were harmonizing. It was sounding really good. Wow. And I was like, dude, you're good.
Yeah, where'd that come from? Yeah.
And then, then he picked up guitar a couple years later and learned how to play guitar, like, very well. You know, I wouldn't say he was a master at it after 2 years, but he could play in the shows.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, we started off, we were playing all over our area where we grew up, like Montgomery County, D.C. area. Yeah. Even after high school. And then he moved to Taiwan for work. You know, life kind of took over, and I moved to North Carolina and started working down here. But I also have kept doing music, always playing. So,
and you do have another band besides Uncanny too, right? A reggae band.
Yeah. We're kind of on a little bit of a hiatus break right now because the bass player had surgery, and he's older. Yeah, he's awesome though. He's one of the most fantastic bass players I've ever played with.
That is so cool.
You got to do that if you're playing reggae. You know, like
oh my gosh, it's so key to the whole thing. You know what I mean? But you think that'll come back together at some point too?
It may. Yeah, we might. I don't know. We'll see. Like I want to put together another reggae band, and if he wants to be a part of it, or he can be a part of it. I want him to be a part of it.
Yep.
But like honestly, I want to put together one that's doing more of the modern reggae stuff that
we've talked about some cool modern reggae stuff that's around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean I'm a big Slightly Stoopid, Iration, Stick Figure, all these
Stick Figure bands. Man. I remember when I was starting to get into that kind of music and things like that. Stick Figure is like there's such a texture and dreaminess and things like that is, and I mean.
It transports you to like the beach, with your Baja, with your drug rug on.
There you go. You're ready to go.
You know, what I'm saying? It takes you away somewhere.
But it's a little less than a lot of the songs that are just definitely like radio kind of cut things. It's more of a textured moment type thing. There's some really cool stuff,
and it's indie. I mean, I think that's why I love it. A lot of it I love. It's like. They're not mainstream, these bands, but a lot of people listen to it.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised. Like when I do play when I play with Nibiru, our reggae band, we did everything from Desmond Decker to Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, Jimmy Cliff, on up to UB40.
Wow, UB40 is another one.
Joe Jackson.
Yeah.
We did everything up and all the way up into Slightly Stoopid and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it just was such a rich way to like get that background of how I want the reggae band to sound.
Yep.
But to put this together, it's it's like I really want the full deal. Yep. I don't want to just be a 3-piece.
No.
I want a horn section. I want keyboard player.
Oh my gosh. I
want a percussionist and a drummer.
Yes.
And maybe some backup singers.
Yeah. It's to me that's the dream right there.
Yeah.
To have like a full have everything, have drummer and percussionist, have some horns, I mean at least 2, have a sax and a trumpet player.
Yeah. If you could find the sax, trumpet, and trombone player combo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean that. Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck finding that.
They're out there. They're all playing bands. They're already playing with somebody.
Do you know what the biggest problem, unfortunately, is like guys like us that have been out here for a while and whatever. We could probably beat the streets and collect all these people.
Oh yeah.
And then you put that 10-person band together, and oh my gosh, I broke my own rule.
This is so-and-so calling. Would you like to make a political donation?
I would not.
No, thanks.
But then what do you do with it? Like you get nobody's going to pay you for a 10-person band, and it sucks because it's worth it.
That's the hardest thing.
But places, all they care about is, hey, I'll give you this much, and you're going to keep people for X amount of time and whatever. Right. It's like I feel like most places don't legitimately care about the music. They just want to have music, and that's what they're paying for. And here's the baseline rate of things like that. I mean, I guess you could find some certain shows, but I don't know. A band like that would freaking kick ass.
More of a an appetite for original music, because I think that is really what pushes music from a city and art perspective. Like, and there are bands doing that in Charlotte, but it is harder if you want to go out and make money. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
You got to convince all these people. If I want that kind of band, I got to convince all these people, hey, we're not going to make shit for the first year or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, unfortunately, this isn't the best music city that I've ever lived in.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say it is.
I mean,
but
for the original thing,
it used to have a lot better scene.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's changed a lot.
Boston was fantastic for originals.
Hell yeah.
They wanted it, and you'd probably go on with like 2 other bands and things, but they were down for putting that, and they'd pay you a decent amount, even though it was like original music and things. I lived in Jacksonville, Florida, and they didn't care. It was worse than here for that. There's plenty of places to play.
Yeah.
I mean, tons of opportunities.
Sure.
I played in a band that played 14 shows a month. I mean, it was like, but it's by the beach, got to be covers, got to be fun.
Right.
And that's it. And the pay was good, but if you want to do your own music, I feel like I was there for like 5 years and played a lot. And I think I saw 1 or 2 places the whole time I was there that did original music.
It's usually a place that'll do it, right?
It was exactly a place that...
It's not like all the venues. It's like Charlotte. We have those places.
Yeah.
You have Milestone, which caters to just, independent, local, usually, and not always local, but touring acts too. I mean, hell, Nirvana played there.
Yeah. There's a documentary or something. Is it out?
They're coming out. I haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailer for it.
All about the Milestone, right? Yeah.
And it's really interesting. It's really cool. It's definitely one of those places in Charlotte that, God, I hope never goes away, because it is the old Charlotte. And, when you first go up to it, I don't know if you've ever been there.
I have not, but I think I heard about it because somebody told me about the documentary and things.
The first time I ever went, I went to go watch a friend's band play there, and we rolled up in a cab, or I took an Uber, and I don't know if that's a cab because this was way back. And the guy dropping us off, because it's off of Tuckasegee, he was like, y'all sure you want me to drop you off over here? Because it's really pretty rough.
This is kind of a bad part of town. Right?
Yeah. And you pull up to the Milestone. It's this big white kind of concrete block building. And it's just spray painted real haphazardly on the side of the building. Milestone. It looks like it. And when you go inside, it's not any nicer. It is a hole.
Yeah.
Okay. It is divey as hell, but in the most awesome of ways.
Gosh, I love having this conversation with you, because that is one of my favorite type of places. I was telling Lauren the other day, because we were talking about something and she kind of didn't believe it, but there's been a few places I've been and played. The walls are painted black. There's just stuff like stuck old posters from 100 years ago all on there. The bathroom's filthy.
Yeah, bathroom's always got to be nasty.
Yeah, it stinks. The stage stinks like beer or whatever. The microphone is all dent that they give you is. I mean, they have a sound guy and everything.
Sure,
I mean, it's like
they do.
They got a system. It's all like you got to bring your own stuff or whatever. Microphone's all dented. You can't believe it even works anymore. And it was the most awesome places. Places like that I love. There was a place, I was in a band with my son. We were in a Stone Temple Pilots cover tribute band, and we played in Raleigh, Deep South, the bar, and it was exactly, walked in there, black walls, shit all over plaster all over the place, and it was, and again, their own sound guy, good stage, great sound, the whole thing. Some people would be scared to go in there. I'm like, I love this place. I wish there was more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think if it, that's part of the mystique of it, though. It's like, it's kind of out there. It's out there. It's sketchy. Yeah. It's got to be out there. And, the thing, just the reality of rents and what they charge venues to be in the rented. I mean, you look at what Neighborhood's gone through in the past 25 years, their rents have gone through the roof.
Yeah.
And to keep up has been really difficult, I imagine, for them. But they always manage to keep it open.
No, people need to support that kind of stuff. But some of it's inevitable in a city
Not
like
Live
this.
Nation. Go to the neighborhood theater.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's right. That's the kind of thing we got to do.
Yeah, go to the Evening Muse. Go see places like that. Because that's
whether you know it or not, you'll enjoy.
You'll
enjoy it more, and you'll have something to talk about these other places, it's like, yeah, all right, whatever. I bought a beer and it was $15, and
yeah.
oh yeah, the band was there and it sounded like the record, and who cares, right?
Yeah.
It's like, whereas you can see something cool somewhere else.
Well, and I think that's what's cool about Charlotte too, is you do have those indie places that are still there, but you also have quite a good selection of places that will cater to all kinds of different levels of band, like whether they're gonna pack out Spectrum or Bank of America Stadium, or they're gonna have it at the Amp in Ballantyne, or PNC Pavilion, right, or Skyla Credit Amphitheater and the Music Factory. And then you got the Fillmore, which is more like a small club, and then even smaller, you got the Underground, which is
which is
even smaller.
Cool,
if you've never been there, it's a cool spot to see. So you can see the bigger names or the people that are touring, and there's a good mix of it. So I think there is a good music scene here. But if you're an original band, or if you're a band of that size trying to get paid, you better tour. Yeah, you're not making your money here.
Yeah. No, gosh, I remember there was a band I was in Jacksonville playing, and we went somewhere a little further away. I don't remember. And there's a band that was in their van going across the country, and they opened for us or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were so excited that they made, I don't know what their piece of the pie was, like under $100, because they were going to go to McDonald's that night.
And they finally get to eat.
We could finally get to eat tonight. They were sleeping in the van. But God bless them, man. They were doing that whole thing. And it's funny because my guitar, we got paid, and I was in a trio, and my guitar player was like, hey, here's all your money and whatever, to the drummer and I. And we're like, are you fucking kidding me? Give them our money. And he's like, what, really? It's like the drummer and I were both like, no, we're just going home right now. These guys they're excited to go to McDonald's. Fucking, we don't need this. Go give them the money. And that's it.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like shit. If I was in that situation, which I wish I had the balls when I was younger, just to go and do it, but I didn't. I was always like, well, you got to have a job and do this, and this. And
I hear you.
I wish I could. I wish I.
The same thing.
It's easier for me now to do anything I want because, I already had my career. It's like, now I can do it. But
right.
Shit, it would have been a lot better if you were young when you did that
Easier
stuff.
when you're doing it when you're younger, living in a van with dudes.
Yeah, that's right.
A good friend of mine in Wilmington, he's a bass player, and a few years ago, he started playing with a band called Treehouse out of Myrtle Beach. It was I would say they're kind of like the Cali reggae, rock reggae stuff. And they're pretty popular. I mean, they had at one point the number 2 or number 1 reggae album on Apple Music.
Oh wow!
When it released and stuff, so they were big. And he got to go. He took over with the bass player who left the band. He toured with them for 2 years, and it was so funny. A few months after, a few months later, after I guess he left the band, I heard he had left the band. I saw him in Wilmington, and I was like, what the hell, dude? You had it made. You're in Treehouse, and these guys are touring. They're a great band.
Yeah.
Fantastic band. They're out of Myrtle Beach. They play up here sometimes at Visual Light or neighborhood. And they were he was like, I was like, yeah, why would you quit that? He was like, dude, you try living in a van with 4 other dudes. I was like, what, an RV? And he was like, yeah, so what? He was like, it smells. He's like, you don't make really that much money because they're still independent, They're not.
Sure, yeah. Nobody's financing this whole thing or whatever.
Yeah, they got their own label kind of thing going on, and so it's I mean, he just said he just didn't like the life, the tour, the living on the road,
right?
And that's part of it. It's some artists are starving artists, right? They paint, they sculpt, but they do that all from a stationary place.
Sure, yeah, a loft somewhere.
When you're trying to make music, make art, that's on your own, and you're touring, you're out there doing it.
Yeah.
It's probably not that fun because you're out there,
sure,
far away from home.
Yeah.
Especially I think that's what I know. So many people, have their career, great musicians, could have been touring, probably, big name people, and life gets in the way, right?
Yep.
They have kids.
Oh, sure.
Then touring isn't so
Yeah, you table it for a while, and then you go back out and do it once the kids are grown up or something like that.
Right, but how the guys that do it even if they got kids. I mean, they just have to sacrifice that part of their life, which sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
And the guys and the ladies. I mean, not forget the ladies that do it too.
Exactly.
And so I think, that's a tough thing to do. But now I'm older. I'm like, I could put together a big band and just do it for fun. Find a bunch of other older musicians that just want to do it. Just to do it for fun.
Easier. I feel like it's easier when you're older to find people that will just do it for fun.
Right.
I think it is. It's like, hey, I just want to just get up on a stage and just freaking do this thing. It'd be good.
That's what I love about Uncanny. It's we do get paid, but we do it because we love it.
Yeah. The money is definitely not there for the reason for you guys to be doing that stuff.
We do it because we love it, and we love the music that we're playing, and we like to see people having a good time. I think that's,
Yep.
I don't want to, I'm 47, I'm not ready to cash in on my, I was a cool party guy when I was younger days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go. That's right.
I'm still trying to stay young.
Do it. It's cool. Well, listen, we got to take a break real quick.
Yeah, word.
And then we're going to come back, and you're actually going to be the first person to play a song live in KMI Studios on Gig Talk. So it's another day of firsts. We will see you guys in a minute. We're here with Talon on Gig Talk here on KMI Studios.
You're listening to Gig Talk on KMI Studios.
Hello.
Looks like it's time to call Razor Pest Solutions. Our skilled technicians will be there fast, ready to give you peace of mind. Cutting-edge pest control that you can count on. Razor Pest Solutions. Pest, termite, wildlife.
Tired of the same old channel surfing on a Tuesday night? How about a little excitement with music bingo at New Sarum Brewing? With your host, Richard Wagoner. After stints hosting both Jeopardy and The Price is Right, Richard now brings the fun to New Sarum every Tuesday night. Folks, this is not your grandma's bingo. It's got a little something for all musical tastes. From Dolly Parton to Korn, from Run DMC to Roy Clark. Get ready to be a winner. Brought to you by New Sarum Brewing and RW Entertainment.
You're listening to Gig Talk on KMI Studios.
Hey everybody, we're back here on Gig Talk with Talon Stamper, and he is going to be the first person playing a live song here in KMI Studios. Talon, what are you going to do for us?
Looks like I'm going to do an original of mine. It's called Love Potion. Wrote it years and years ago.
Fantastic. We're looking forward to hearing it. Everybody, here's Love Potion with Talon Stamper.
Don't turn your eyes away from me, 'cause I don't know if I could live. Your apple is in blossom, your trees are in bloom. Let me be the one to tend to you. Fall in love with someone I just don't know, but in your eyes I see the skies bluer than before. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Let me be the one who keeps us in motion. You'll always be my love potion. My love potion. It's been a long time since I felt the way I do. An angel sent down with a crown to help me through. Your calm, she stretches to your deepest ties. Your passion and your love out of that and unsafe fire. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Let me be the one who keeps us in motion. I'm about to lose my headphones. 'Cause you'll always be my love potion. My love potion. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Girl, you know exactly where it's at. You got a beautiful smile and eyes so divine. I knew when I saw you I was gonna make you mine. Said, take it nice and easy. We're in a hurry, nobody's gonna make us hurry. Just take it nice and slow. Let me be the one who keeps us in motion. You'll always be my love potion. My love potion. All right.
You're listening to Gig Talk on KMI Studios.
That's right. Hey, everybody, we're back here on Gig Talk with Talon Stamper, who just performed a fantastic original song. Do you want to tell us a little bit about where that came from and things, or is it just... go ahead.
Yeah, well... I was, so with my songs, I think just songwriting, it just kind of comes out of me. And I was just playing those chords one day, and I just got kind of inspired to write a song. And I started writing out lyrics, and before long, I had a song. So
there you go.
It's not a long song. It's not a complicated song. It's not a hard song, but it's just something that kind of came out of just I was in love.
Sure.
You know?
Yep. It's definitely something we'll snippet that out of there and promote it on KMI Studios for you and things too. See what we get you a record deal or something. There you go. Well, it's been awesome having you here today. Do you want to plug a couple Uncanny dates or anything? Do you know anything off the top of your head?
Yeah, I think we got Uncanny is playing live at Old Armor Brewing in Kannapolis, North Carolina, on March 30th.
March 28th.
28th. You know the date.
I know the date.
He knows the date. March 28th.
Yep.
That's our next one.
Cool.
And then I think we got one at La Tropicana, which has changed now.
What did the name go to? I saw they were plugging that they were going to
They
something
just
else.
changed it yesterday. God, I can't remember that.
Everybody will know.
I have to look it up. I can look it up. But
everybody will know what Tropicana used to be. So
yeah, that's where Tropicana used to be. Exactly.
That's cool.
April 10th, I believe we're there. So
fantastic. These guys are great. You definitely need to go out. We will be there filming and put out some more cool Uncanny videos. Talon, it's been awesome having you here today, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. And we'd really love to have you back because I don't think we even scratched the surface on our music conversation. So
hey, I'll come back. Yeah, anytime.
That's good. Well, we'll definitely see you then. Everybody, thank you for listening to this episode of Gig Talk here on KMI Studios. We will see you next time.
You're listening to Gig Talk on KMI Studios.